Okay, we left off 2 weeks ago. Siman Senior Aleph. We did Seif Aleph up to Seif Beis. We'll do a quick chazara on Seif Aleph because it's still the Hemshech. So in Seif Aleph we saw a mace. Let's read the Mechaber inside. Mace Amuta V'Mokai She'era Odov Ne'adleika. There's a mace lying in a place where his spirit is going to get burnt. And Yashkika Atinik Mataltala. So here by Dleika is more of a heter than a mace that's lying in the sun. He said that by Dleika is a heter because Adam Baal HaMesai, he's going to end up doing other malachas. So when matter things in order they shouldn't come to be over soon. So therefore it's mutter the kicker atinik, remember kicker atinik and meshla shtei mitos, but hafle deisha yafchenu the mita, to have him a tiltum and a tzad. That's another heter. To turn it over from mita to mita. We spoke then if the mita is a bossis or not. That would be metaltal total gomer b'fnei hadleika. But all that is talking about in the Rishos, now that we're bringing out our Carmelis, which we spoke then, that's a machlokes. The fact that we're bringing it only to Oysa Rishos, and we'll see more in Seif Beis. When the Mechaber is mashma, that it's only in that Rishos, now they carry it out to our Carmelis. The Taz already argues that's all by Dleika. Meisa mutter b'chama matatla b'chama b'tzel b'oisa rishos, also on that rishos like the kikar etinok. The main like kikar etinok lo yitaltalenu by chama, but it's lying in the sun, that would not matter you to carry it, but out of kikar etinok afilu lahafcha mita lemita for tiltum and atzad shmei tiltum. For tiltum and atzad is called the tiltum. So that was Seif Aleph. So I don't remember if we spoke out the Taz here in Seif Beis, Seif Cotton Beis. Tiltum and Atzad, the Taz says, Nira the Asa Litchai Vayidei Kana Davar Shul Muktzah. Says the Taz, it's also to push something Muktzah with a kana, with a stick. V'rayim Mashakasa V'sibin Kafma Vav Seif Gimel. So the Taz says that you're not going to move Muktzah with a stick because it's called Tiltum and Atzad. We had in Siman Ches, the Taz was matter to move Muktzah with a stick. By the Taz in Seif Cotton Yud Ches, in Shin Ches Yud Ches, the Taz says, Nira dehu adin im avidim adei davar achar, you let him move Muktzah adei davar achar. You're going to megar oisam adei sakim in amapo the mutter. Kivin leinoga behem havel tiltum and atzad umutter. So the Taz in Siman Shin Ches said that tiltum and atzad with the sakim was mutter.
And here he says no.
And here he says it's also. So the final answer, a very simple teretz, that over here when you're moving in the tzarech davar hamuktzah. So tiltum and atzad, the tzarech davar hamuktzah is also.
Yeah.
Over there at Siman Shin Ches, we're talking about you need a macham, you need a place. So you're moving the crumbs away from the table because you need the place on the table. There it's tiltum and atzad, the tzarech davar hamutter, and that's mutter. Only tiltum and atzad, the tzarech davar ha'aser is aser. But tiltum and atzad, the tzarech davar hamutter is mutter.
And the mace is the davar ha'aser.
Yeah, mace is davar muktzah. So you're moving it for the mace, then it's awesome.
Yeah.
If you're moving it for the place, then it's mutter. If you look in the Mishnah Brewery, Seif Cotton Vav, he speaks it out. It says Shmei Tilto, Seif Cotton Vav. Mitam zeh also litchai vayidei kana davar shel muktzah taz. Ach, im yichifos lehu b'fnei shetzarech leishtamesh b'mokam shemunach by a muktzah. But if you're moving it because you need a place where the muktzah is lying, shari, then it's mutter. Why? To have a tiltum and atzad, the tzarech davar hamutter. That's tiltum and atzad, the tzarech davar hamutter, for the chamon b'Seif Ches, v'ayin le'el b'Siman Shin Ches, the Mishnah Berurah Seif Cotton Kuftes Vav. That's the chiluk he makes between tiltum and atzad, the tzarech davar hamuktzah, or tiltum and atzad, the tzarech davar ha-heter. So So if someone's cleaning his table and he wants a table to be clean, he doesn't need the crumbs, he doesn't need the davar muktzah, so then it's mutter. It's told him in Atzav, it's davar heter. If you're moving the mace with a kona, so there you're moving it because of the mace. Not because you need the place, because you want to protect the mace. That's called Toltam and Atzad, the Tzarech Davar HaAsa, which is Asa. Okay, seed base. Meisha Sriach Babayis, a mace that was starting to smell and it's in the house. V'nimtza v'spazut bein achayim v'heim v'spazut mimenu. And it comes out that there's two things we spoke out last time. It's something called Kloid HaMeis, and then something called Kloid HaChayim. Kloid HaMeis, we saw in Seif Aleph, there's limitations. And the Mechaber is Mashma in Seif Aleph, that you're not allowed to move it to a different Chater, even if it's in the Chater She'en Murevet, and it's in the Rabbanon, you're not allowed to move the mace because of Kloid HaMeis. Here it says in the Mechaber, that now it's mispazel bein achayim v'hem mispazel mimenu. Let's skip to the more second. Mutter l'hoitziyah lekarmelis. You're allowed to move it out to a karmelis. Why are you allowed to move it out to a karmelis? Here the Mechaber is saying it's mutter because of kvoid achayim, not because of kvoid hameis. V'hem hoya v'hem mokem lotzes boy. If the people have a place where to go, then the people have to leave. If they have a place to go to, so now it's not quite a chaim anymore. They have a place to change and they go someplace else. The halacha is they're not going to move the mace because there's no more quite a chaim. If you look in the Mogen Avram Sivkon Vov, Mutter Loitziyah, you're allowed to bring out the mace to a karmelis. The Godel Kvoid Habriyos, Shadoicher Loisaser the Devreim. Kvoid Habriyos is Doicher or Loisasei Midrabanon. Not Dairaisis, only the Rabbanons. You'll find a lot of times in the Gemara that even though it's Kvoid Habriyos, if it's an Issa Dairaisa, you're not allowed to be over an Issa Dairaisa for Kvoid Habriyos. On Issa Rabbanon, you're allowed to be over for Kvoid Habriyos. Says the Mogen Avram over here, the reason why it's mutter loitziyah is because of Kvoid HaBriyos, and we're only being over an Issa D'Rabbanan. Moshe Kosev Sif Yud Gibel, but Sif Tefesh Bezayin Sif Beis, Kosev Magen Mishmah from the Kvoid HaChayim K'Omar, Uchedei L'Salek Mehem Reichoi Yetiroi Ad Kal Neshoinoi. But matter it only because of Kvoid HaChayim, Ad Kal Neshoinoi Shem Arayvit. Klemet Leitiroi Hatzah B'Shlo Kvoid HaMeis, it's not such a big bezoyin for the mace, it's masriach, therefore we're only matter to move it out with Kvoid HaChayim. That's the Mechaber. If you look in the Ramah over here, the Ramah adds in, Hagar, Yesh Oimrim, Tafilu lo yisriach adayin, Ela shekarev lahasriach, even though it wasn't masriach yet, but it's karev lahasriach, it's soon going to become asriach the mace, it's soon going to start smelling. The Ramah is matter to move the mace. So what's the machlokes here, the Mechaber and the Ramah? So the Ramah here is learning that it's mutter to move the mace because of Kvoid HaMeis. If it's karev lahasriach and you're moving it now, why are you moving it? You're moving it to avoid that it should become masriach. That's not Kvoid HaChayim, because it doesn't smell yet. That's Kvoid HaMeis. The Ramah here is being matter to move the mace for Kvoid HaMeis, not Kvoid HaChayim.
So before the Kvoid HaChayim was superior to the
right, that's the Mechaber.
And now,
right, the Ramah says that even though it's only Kvoid HaMeis, it's still mutter. The Mechaber holds only Kvoid HaChayim. The Ramah holds even Kvoid HaMeis. If you look in the Mogen Avram Sivkot Hey, so karev lahasriach, but that's why they kick it. You can move it. Aber like a kick it. Also the chmiru yosef be'issa tiltu be'issa reitzah. Here the Ramah says we're more machmer on issa tiltu than we're machmer on issa reitzah. Now, everyone asked the kasha over here. We just saw in Seif Aleph that you're allowed to be metaltal the mace, but you're not allowed to carry it out. And here we're saying there were more machmir on tiltal than Isser Eitzah. So it's a steer. Seif Aleph we said that tiltal is mutter, and the Mechaber says v'chozer b'oiser rishus. You're not allowed to carry it out. Now the Magen Avraham is saying that you're allowed to carry it out, but tiltal is only mutter the kikar tinuk. Why? Because there's more machmir on tiltal than a machmir on Eitzah. So the Noisei Kelim over here explain if you look in the Levushei Srod, Levushei says Sif Cotton Hay, Magen Avraham Sif Cotton Hay. See the Levushei Srod? He says Me'isar Eitzah Kasha to the Sif Cotton Gimel Kasha Magen Avraham Behepach. Magen Avraham writes the opposite. There were more machmir on Eitzah, there were machmir on tiltal. I'm from Godev. Beer kibal shita zu shehevi remor kan heim svira lehem the chemiru yosef betiltal ayin sham ba'emch. This shita in the remor, they hold a more machmir on tiltal than Eitzah, meaning they're mekel on Eitzah even the tzarech hameis. So they're more mekel than Eitzah. That's the shita of the remor. That's what the Magen Avraham means over here. That in the shita of the remor, this shita holds that we're matter Eitzah even only the tzarech hameis, not the tzarech hachayim. That shita holds we're more mekel than Eitzah than we're mekel in tiltal. So you see from over here from the Achronim that there's a machlokes here mechaben the remor if it's mutter to carry out a mace the tzarech hameis, not the tzarech hachayim.
The tzarech hachayim is not.
Tzarech hachayim, everyone agrees you can carry it out. If you look in the Magen Avraham Sif Cotton Zion, Ein Maitzin, right, we just said in the Mechaber that if Hoyel have Mokum Lotzeis boy, if you have a place to go out, then you're not allowed to take out the mace. The Chaim, the people that are alive, have to leave the room.
Sorry, what is that? You're saying that the Mechaber doesn't hold the covenant mace in Halacha Aleph?
Then the tiltal is made, not the Eitzah. Eitzah, he does not matter the covenant mace. Only tiltal, because he's more machmir on Eitzah than tiltal. Tiltal is mekel the tzarech hameis, but Eitzah is not mekel the tzarech hameis, only the tzarech hachayim.
Because he lets people, when it's an occasion, people can go on themselves.
Then they can go out, right. If you look in the Magen Avraham Sif Cotton Zion, Ein Maitzin, you're not allowed to carry out the mace. Says the Magen Avraham, why? V'leka k'foyt hachayim. There's no k'foyt hachayim because the chayim, the people that are alive, could leave. But k'foyt hameis nami leka, kivin shemunach b'mokoyim she'ein royim. Since it's in a place where people don't see it. Now, says the Magen Avraham, l'das hatur, the mukorav la'asriach, even if it's only korav la'asriach according to the Torah, which is really what the Ramah brings down. Afilu yesh behem mokem lotes mutir lo'itziai b'fnei shelo yasriach. Says the Magen Avraham, according to the Torah, you're allowed to take out the mace. Lo'itziai b'fnei shelo yasriach. What's that shita? That shita is that even if they kfoid ha-mace, you're allowed to move it. If you look in the Levushei Srod, Levushei Srod Sif Cotton Zion, he says, Afilu yesh la'amokam kavanosai de'mikorav la'asriach v'lo yasriach adayim leka kfoid ha'chayim. This Levushei Srod explains everything very nicely. That if it's korav la'asriach v'lo yasriach adayim leka kfoid ha'chayim. Now, according to Spirulei La'atur, the Mishum Kvoid HaMeis Levad Hitiru Im Kein Shari Afilu Yesh Mokem B'Atzeis. The Torah, which is the Shittas Ramah, goes like the Torah, holds that even if it's only out Kvoid HaMeis, you're allowed to carry it out into a different Rishos. That's what the Levushei Srod explains. So we have over here, before we go any further in the Seif, Machlokes between the Mechaber and the Ramah. The Mechaber is mashma, you're not allowed to bring it out to a different Rishus, the Tzarech HaMeis, and the Ramah is Mekel.
We learned though last week that the Oyser Rishus, right, may not mean the Oyser Rishus legabe the mace. In other words, we said that
Oyser Rishus it's
in other words, Kikar Retinik is Oyser Rishus, but we still, the way we also learned it was that we could learn the Machaber also that it didn't mean the Oyser Rishus, that it would also mean even to Rishus Rabin.
Yeah, it's a different Rishus. So let's get to that now. That's the next step.
But then how would you be Machriya what we just spoke about now?
So the Taz we saw last week wants to learn the Machaber without bringing it out to a different Rishus.
Right, so if you learn
even the different Rishus.
Seif like that,
right, Taz is the Torah Seif.
There is no machlekes between
the Machaber and the Ramah. Correct. But the Mogen of Ram is learned there is a machlekes.
Right, so I just wanted to point out that
correct.
If you learn like that Oyser Rishus doesn't really mean Oyser Rishus. There's no machlekes between the
right. So let's see the Be'er Halacha. The Be'er Halacha about this. Because the way our Machaber speaks, it's mashal from the Machaber that the Oyser Rishus is Osir, because Tzoy the Mate is no Heter Eitzah. The Machaber we saw last week says at the end that from Hoya Ha'akom is Ashrim Sham, it's mutter because of the Zoyin HaMeitz. So then the Machaber says for the Zoyin HaMeitz, so let him move with a different Rishus. And the Mogen Avram says over there, that's a Bezoyin Godel already, a big Bezoyin for that matter. So let's see. The Be'er Halacha says over here, going at Sif Aleph, V'chol Zeh B'Oyser Rishus. I have a Mishnah Berurah Sif Khan down, I learned the whole Be'er Halacha inside. So now you see the way he learns, takes apart the Machaber and the Ramah, he goes to the Machlekes Achronim. I have a Mishnah Berurah Sif Khan down, V'mashal Gesafti, Mashma Nezeh, Kein Be'er HaMogen Avram, Es Das HaMachaber, V'chein Mashma Be'er HaGra, Shemafarish Kein Das HaMachaber, Shepoisik HaRambam, the Machaber learns like the Rambam, Shloi Hutar B'fnei Kvoit HaBriyas, Rak Shachayim Mispazim. The only time I'm matter to carry it out is only when the Chayim are Mispazim. When Shekasa Bereishi base. Like it says in the beginning of Sif Beis, like we just saw, it's Mashma only B'fnei Kvoit HaChayim. When Shekasa B'Mishnah Berurah, Aval Habe Achreinim Heim, Aval Habe Achreinim Mashma, they learn that the way. Heim Alavosh, V'Abach, V'Ataz, V'Ataz Shabbos, V'Yirava, V'Chenem Primogodim, Meish Lavra, V'Tzadim Gamkin Hachi, V'Seif. U'Be'emes, B'Divrei HaMachaber Atzmoi, V'Seif Sif Beis, Shekasa V'Hu Adir, V'Hu Be'Bezoyin Achar Gantei B'Spina, V'Chein Kol Kiretz V'Zeh Muchach V'Hedya, V'Hu Adir in His Seifes HaMeis, L'Gora B'Zeh. The same thing to His Seifes HaMeis, you should be able to carry it out in different Rishos. In the bracket it says, Masha Docha Mogen Avram, the Shamu Bezoyin Godel, who Dochok Mo'oid, from the Habachuk, Moshkosov Tetzazaz. Saying that's a bigger Bezoyin over there, it's not much like that, he doesn't like the Dichwe of the Mogen Avram. Va'al Kain, on the Mechrochim Loimar, Be'echad L'shnei Eile. One of the two Mahalchim had answered the Mechaber. Oi, to Harambam Ba'atzma Yoida, L'inyan Dleika, the Meis, the Mutter Loitzir Rishos Acheres, when Shekasa V'Tetzah Shabbos and Primogodim, U'masha Kosav HaMachaber Oyser Rishus, who K'moshe Gesafti B'Mishnah Berurah, which is, like we said last week, is the Torah Tfus, or it's a whole different pshat in it. Or you have to say that Mechaber Ba'atzmoi Chazar Mezeh L'B'Seif. The Mechaber in the beginning of Sif Beis Taka holds only for Kvoid HaChayim, you let him move it. At the end of the Sif, V'Hechzik B'Sif Beis, Ashittus Rashi L'Dino. The Master Kosa the Seif Sif Beis Gordon Hari Bezoyin, who the Pirish Rashi to Hepech Meshitis HaRambam Shehichzik HaMachaber Bo B'Sif Aleph. So the Be'er Halacha says two pshatim. Either we're going to learn like the Taz and all the Achronim, that when the Machaber says before V'chol Zeh B'Oyser Rishus, you have to matchakit, like Mr. Brewer brings down how he's matchakit, or no. Taka says in Sif Aleph in the beginning of Sif Beis.
If you learn like that, then it's only applied to Dleika.
Dleika, right. That's for Tzeicham.
So the way, although there's more than Dleika in Sif Aleph.
Right, the Chama not. The Chama he won't be matched the different Rishos.
So in other words, the idea is if you learn like the Taz, then you're going to say that it's a din in Dleika only.
Taz doesn't learn that way. Taz learns everything. Taz learns even the rest of the Seif is mutter. Even for a Chama it's mutter.
But at least if you understand it like the Taz, so much as that there's no...
No, sorry. Taz also only Dleika, sorry. Only Dleika. Only Dleika, right.
It's Dleika only. Only
Dleika, right. Like the Bir Allah says. Only about Dleika. So Seif Beis, the beginning of Seif Beis, is going to stay. Because that's for Fnei HaChama. Fnei HaChama, we're not going to be matter it. By Dleika, other Bo on the Moiner, we're matter even to Rishus Achar. By Chama, we're not matter.
So it's a different heter.
Other Bo on the Moiner, correct.
And therefore you have Dleika, and then
correct.
Not
Therefore matter it.
And Noiser Rishus, it does not mean Noiser Rishus.
Correct. That's one shot. The other shot is, says the Bir Allah, that the Mechaber himself is Chayzer. At the end of Seif Beis, when he says that for Akum, the Sasma you're allowed to move it, he's Chayzer, and now he paskins like Rashi, and it's mutter to move it with Fnei HaMeis. And the Bir Allah comes out, Lamaisa, that that's the way we paskin, since there are more paskins that way, and even the Mechaber may paskin that way the Seif, therefore he paskins, even as Kvayt HaMeis, you're allowed to move the Meis. Not just because of Kvayt HaChai.
Well, isn't that a bit okay to say that second shot?
So the Kvayt HaMeis...
It's a big lechem.
And he left it like that in the first lechem.
Correct. Correct.
And he was doche.
Correct. Yeah, it's a bit, and a chami.
Yeah.
And a chami. It's a spirit the Mechaber he has. Yeah. He doesn't like the Mogen Avram's teretz, the Bezoyin Gadol or Mekel. Right. Therefore, he'd rather say the Mechaber himself in the same Seif, whatever, Sibal Beis, is Chayzer.
But why don't you just say, forget about Bezoyin Gadol, it's in Deleika.
It's not Deleika.
No, the first answer doesn't rely on Bezoyin Gadol. The first answer he offers.
Right, it's the first answer. One shot, the Taz.
But I'm just saying that. Manny's saying like that. The second teretz is a very short teretz.
Right, the second teretz is Chayzer, right.
So learn it that he wasn't Chayzer.
That's the first teretz.
Yeah.
Very good.
Anyway, in the second teretz, he's the second teretz, that is Chayzer. Yeah. Because how you matchik the Mechaber? You matchik the Oisha Rishus over here in Tziv Aleph, which is also a big dleichik.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right. If you learn Dleika, I don't see it. If you have a Dleika, so what's the problem? So that's Oisha Rishus.
No, Dleika is mutter to a different Rishus.
Correct.
So what does Oisha Rishus mean?
And to kick a retina.
So the Oisha Rishus means the chiddush of kick a retina is even Oisha Rishus.
Right.
It's a shikol dleichik.
Is it?
Okay. Yeah, shikol dleichik. A little bit of a dleichik.
I mean,
right.
that's a very weird way of writing it.
Right.
Really what he meant.
Right. What it means is...
very strange way of
so the whole thing is strange. So
yeah.
Right.
No matter how you answer
you accept Oisha Rishus to mean that it is that it's to kick a retina, right? And therefore to move it out of an outside Rishus you would be right. That also doesn't
Yeah. The whole thing of Oisha Rishus means only when you get kick a retina.
Right.
The chiddush even by Oisha Rishus you have to do kick a retina. It's also there. It's also difficult to say that Shat and Mechaber.
That's true.
I mean, Taz is the easiest way. Torah Sefer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the easiest.
That's the easiest.
Yeah, but it's not so. We don't say Torah Sefer so easily. So the Mechaber, so the Bir Halacha comes out that either he's going to go with the Taz, or he's going to go that the Mechaber himself is Chayzer at the end. Okay, and he's making the Maisa that even if they find a mace, you're allowed to move it into a different Rishus. Now let's see the Mechaber Baita. So now we're matter to move out the mace into a conference. And we have a shayla here. We said that for muktzah, you have to put a kikar or tinnik on the mace and then move it out. And now you're carrying it out to different rishus, so you have a problem. You're being mabed by itself. You're adding a kikar or tinnik to carry it out. So it says like this: V'yesh oimrim shalei tiru lo'itziyah the carmelis. We're not matter to carry it out into a carmelis. Ella ayidei kikar tinnik. Why? Because we're not makel b'negeya tiltal. You have to always have a kikar or tinnik. Even though you're being mabed by itself, we're still makel. V'yesh misha oimrim shakol shabatziyah the carmelis. Anytime you carry it out into a carmelis, mutiv l'hoitzi shaloi b'kikar v'tinuk kedei l'mayit v'oitzah. You should make less oitzah. Says the Mogen Avram, Elai de kikar, toitzah the absolute takune shari. Haitzah, which you can't fix, we'll matter it. Aval tilto absolute takune, you could fix it. How? But kikar, Misakninan, we fix it. Umiu says the wrong of Rabbi Chedeshir. Im ein lo kikar atinik, shari la Rambam v'latur asad. The issue of total lo yitiru v'lo kikar atinik. According to the Rambam we said before is more makeup by tiltal than I saw. So the Rambam would say if you don't have a kikar atinik, you're still allowed to move it. According to the Torah, if there's no kikar atinik, it's also to move it. There's no heter to move it without a kikar atinik. So here we have machlokes. What's better to move it with a kikar atinik or without it? And the Mishnah Berurah here paskins. A sif contest. Mutiv lahoitzi ayin b'alirabu tzachriya kadeya rishayna, which is they have to have the kikar atinik. Shahaber Paiskim Sevim Kamaisa. So it passes like the first shita, they have to have a kikar atinik. If you carry it out to a carmelist, even though you're being marba by itself, still you do it to the kikar atinik. Now says the Mechaber, V'yesh mishamati lo'itzioi af l'rishus rabim ayidei tinik avaloi ayidei kikar. You're allowed to carry it out to rishus rabim. Here it's where it's the rice of the chayra. You carry it out to rishus rabim. Ayidei tinik v'lo ayidei kikar. So what's going on over here? What's the heter to carry it to rishus rabim? And what's the why dafka ayidei tinik and not ayidei kikar? So it says the Magen Avraham. After Rishus Rabim, why? And what does that mean? I don't want to get involved in the whole sugya of Malacha Tzricha L'Gufa. It's a huge sugya. We'll get to it maybe in Siman Shin Yudalid. But Malacha Tzricha L'Gufa basically means that, I shouldn't say basically means because it's been the exact types of Malacha Tzricha L'Gufa. But we're going to go with simple pshat. The malacha tzricha l'gufa means I'm not doing the malacha because I need the malacha. Right? The most famous case of malacha tzricha l'gufa is that if you're chayfet guma, you're digging a hole. You only need the sand, the dirt. You don't need the hole. You don't need the hole. So making a hole is binyan or chayvish in a field. Depends where you are. So digging a hole is an issa d'oraisa. Now I don't need the hole. What do I need? I need the dirt for something else. So it's chayfer guma. The melacha in the Mishkan was chayfer guma. What am I doing it? I need the dirt. So chayfer guma, all you need is the dirt. It's called the melacha she'ein tzricha legufa. I don't need the guf ha-melacha. I don't need the chayfer guma. If there would have been a pile of sand, a pile of sand, not in the ground, I would have used that pile of sand. So it's called the malacha she'ein tzricha l'gufa. It's a machlokes in the Gemara if a malacha she'ein tzricha l'gufa is chayiv or pater. Why should it be pater? Because I'm not doing. It's incidental. That's right. I'm not doing the malacha for the reason they did the malacha in the Mishkan. I'm doing it on something else.
Even if you dig from a pile, you kind of make a hole there.
No, not in the ground. Not in the ground.
Also, he has no reason
to do it. Yeah. Here also. But when someone's carrying out the mace into the Rishus Rabim, he doesn't need the Hitzah. He doesn't need to carry something into the Rishus Rabim. Yeah. Why? Because all he needs is the mace shouldn't be in the house. I don't want the mace in the house. Where it goes, I don't care. It could go anywhere. I don't need the Hitzah into the Rishus Rabim. That's called Malacha She'ein Tzricha l'Gufa. It's a little different because here now you want to carry it into the Rishus Rabim. You want to get rid of it. But it's still called the malacha she'ein tzricha l'gufa. So here's the machlokes. The malacha she'ein tzricha l'gufa is pater or chayiv. So if you're going now, malacha she'ein tzricha l'gufa is pater. Therefore, v'yesh mishamati lo'itzioi, the same way you're allowed to carry it into a carmelist, because it's only listed the Rabbanan, you're allowed to carry it also into a Rishus Rabim. Why? Because it's only an issue the Rabbanan and malacha she'ein tzricha l'gufa.
Can you say that the Psan nowadays is always the Rabbanan because we only have...
We don't have Rishus Rabim. Yeah. So it's a regular carmelist.
Right.
We don't have to come up to Malacha Tzricha l'Gufa.
I mean, that whole idea. You could just learn it just simply like that.
Correct. You don't have to come out to Malacha Tzricha l'Gufa 3 days. If you hold every Rishus Rabim the right today.
Is there such a thing as moving a mace that is l'Gufa?
No. It's always Shein Tzarech L'Gufay. It's always Shein Tzarech L'Gufay, yeah. Amazing is always Shein Tzarech L'Gufay.
Okay. That's interesting.
Well, if you would put it into a refrigerator,
I was just going to say that. That's
if it's a cooler room.
No.
Why? That would
you don't want to take your mate to put it into a cold temperature, so it shouldn't, whatever we must react. Isn't that what
that's what Tzarech L'Gufay.
Yeah, so that goes into what Tzarech L'Gufay means. So some candidates just happen is the same thing.
No.
If you say put it into the refrigerator, because you want it in the refrigerator, you're saying, here, I want it in the refrigerator. I mean, you just don't want it in the house.
You have to look at the Taitzah of the Haitzah.
Right.
Right. If you're moving it because you want to change the place.
I don't care where it goes. I want it in the fridge. The fridge is in the refrigerator. I need it in the fridge.
If you want to move it to the refrigerator because it's colder there, it's colder outside, so maybe it's called Tzarech L'Gufay because you want it in the refrigerator.
I want it there.
Just I don't want it in the room.
What about burying it? That's burying it. Putting it in the ground, burying it. Wouldn't that be
that's Tzarech L'Gufay. That's partial Tzarech L'Gufay,
yeah. Like on Shabbos, if you wanted to bury a mace on Shabbos.
What
was that already?
Yeah.
So that would be...
Well, then brings down that case.
Later on, we'll see.
He brings down that case exactly. Because the kever was prepared before, you still can't.
No, but there it's outside. People should...
Is that because it's a malach?
No, that's for this reason, because it was on a mace. People should say they're malach on Shabbos. We'll see that one around soon.
That's like making a mitzvah on Shabbos.
Alright, so that's a malacha she'ein tzricha l'gufa, and therefore we'll make over here. The miyesh mishamati. If you look at the Levush Yisrod, what's the cholkim? The cholkim would say that we're not makel over here by taking the Shus Rabban. Why not? It's only Issa D'Rabbanan. So he says like this. The Levush Yisrod says, the Sifka test, the Levush Yisrod on the Magen Avram, Ta'afi Malacha, ve'ein bo itzah zu rak Issa D'Rabbanan v'damim v'karmelis. It's Malacha she'ein tzricha l'gufa, therefore it's only Issa D'Rabbanan, it's like karmelis. V'ha Rabbeinu Tam, Cholek al Deizu, because of the lo yitiru el karmelis. Why? She'ikra midrabanan. A karmelis, the whole malacha is ikra midrabanan. A malacha she'ein tzricha l'gufa, malachahu. It's a regular malacha. You're doing a malacha. Ela she'ein tzarech l'gufa. V'hava ikra de'raisa v'lechein hiksha atas v'kan gimu d'hoyla shechanach l'tzayim she'harabenu tam oiser. Hanan over time. Who is it? It's a tough the first one. Okay, it's a Ben Hanan, I think. So the Levush Yisrod says, what's the machlokes here? V'yesh mi shamatir. Why is it only yesh mi shamatir? Because the ones that don't let you carry it out, they hold a malacha she'ein tzricha l'gufa. You write it to the Rabbanon, but ikra midaraisa. The malacha you're doing is a malacha daraisa. For you, it's not a malacha daraisa. Why? Because you're doing it for a different reason. That we're not matir. Why are we matir? We're matir karmelis, but the whole malacha is only issa d'Rabbanan. There's no daraisa about it.
We saw the exact opposite story, that there were more matir on Tiltal than we are on Haitzah. We dropped down, right?
That's something else. Here it's the same Haitzah. Here it's the same malacha Haitzah.
Here he's saying that we're going to be more worried about the Haitzah because it's me'ikr deraisa. Right?
Correct.
We also saw before that they were more goyzer on they were more machmer on muktzah more than haitzah.
Which haitzah? That's a shadow. Which haitzah were the more machmer on? Haitzah that's fully d'Rabbanan. That's what they're more machmer on. A tilta which is d'Rabbanan and haitzah which is fully d'Rabbanan, they're more machmer on tilta than haitzah.
In other words, a karmelis.
But it's fully d'Rabbanan.
Then they're more machmer on
tilta. Then they're more machmer on the muktzah. On the muktzah, right.
More here, because it starts off from a
deraisa, ikra deraisa, it's more than it starts off deraisa. Usually ikra deraisa means it starts off deraisa. Karmelis also starts off deraisa. The whole ikra malacha is malacha tzah.
Right.
He doesn't say that. He says because this malacha is really malacha deraisa. For you it's not, because you have a different intention. But the malacha itself is a malacha deraisa.
To start with.
Even more than to start with.
Yeah.
Here's the ikra deraisa. This malacha itself, now what I'm doing, if for somebody else it's a deraisa. For me it's a d'Rabbanan, because I have a different intention. Therefore it's mochamer.
And by Carmelis?
Carmelis is Carmelis for everybody is D'Rabbanan.
Because I thought that carrying in the Carmelis is still a derivative of.
You're right. In the Charamis, usually Ikar Deraisa means a derivative. You're right. That's usually what it means. That means the Malacha itself, a Tiltol, there's no carb. The whole Tiltol is D'Rabbanan. And so is Deraisa. But that's the case. And Carmelis is also Deraisa. Ikar Deraisa. So that's what the Musa Srod puts in. Malachahu. This Malacha itself is a Malacha Deraisa, what I'm doing now. But it's Ein Shricha L'Gufa. That means carrying it to Rishus Rabbim Be'etzem is a Malacha Deraisa. But for me, it's only D'Rabbanan because it's a Malacha Ein Shricha L'Gufa. Okay. And then he says, Dafka de Tinuk, and that was Kikar. When you carry it to Rishus Rabbim, you only allow to use a Tinuk. You can't do it with a Kikar. What's the difference? So the Magen Avraham says, I de Tinuk, the Dafka is who Godel Ksas, only when he's a little bit older, the Siman Shinches Seif Mem Aleph. What does that mean? So he says, because when a Tinuk, when he's older, like Chai Noises Atzmon.
Yeah.
So when you're carrying out the mace with the Tinuk, what Isser are you being over? Only Mr. D'Rabbanan.
Yeah.
Because the Tinuk is only Chai Noises Atzmon. Therefore, it's not a problem. Mashiach, it's a little child, like a baby, but there's no Chai Noises Atzmon, then it's a problem.
Yeah.
Says the Magen Avraham. And that guy, the Tinuk, they kick her why? Says the Magen Avraham, the Mekamokain is Chayiv ala Kikar she'enai tafel lemeis. The Kikar is not a tafel to the mace. That's why you're the Chayiv on the Kikar. When you carry out the mace, you may have a head to block the Jichel Gufa. But the Kikar itself is not tafel to the mace.
It's only the Tinnik.
Only the Tinnik, yeah. But again, the Kikar itself is not tafel the mace. So if you look at the Musa Sword, he explains it. Sif Khan Yin Aleph, she'enai tafel. Hamagen Avraham Mefarish, Mashkosav Atur, ve'enei tafel ameis. Explain what it means is Bishlei Metinoi Noises Atzmoi. A Tinnik carries himself, therefore it's only to the Rabbanan. Kishagov L'Ktsas ve'enei Oise Issa B'Yitzos HaTinuk. Masha'enke B'Kikar is Chayiv al Yitzos HaKikar. He'll be Chayiv on carrying out the Kikar. V'loi Domi L'Meis V'Mita Shapatat Afal Amita. Why? Shamita Tfela L'Meis V'Tzorachla. Now the Kikar ain't Tzorach L'Meis V'Chayiv Aleha. What does it mean here? What does the Lucia Sword mean? We had before that the meat, when you carry out a meat with the mace on it, the meat is a tuffle to the mace.
I see.
Why? Because it's coming to be mishamish the mace. A Kikar on the mace, is it coming to be mishamish the mace?
Nothing.
It's just the opposite. The whole heter of Kikar Itinik we spoke out last week, 2 weeks ago, was what? But now it looks like I'm carrying out the Kikar, and the mace is a tuffle to the Kikar. So the Kikar is the main thing now. Right. The Kikar is the main thing. You can't say, oh, I'm allowed to carry out the mace with the Kikar. Why? Because the Kikar is a tuffle to the mace. It's just the opposite. We're trying to make the mace a tuffle to the Kikar. Says the Melush Yisrael, therefore you can't carry out the Kikar. By the Tinai, even though it's not a tuffle to the mace, you're allowed to carry it out. Why? Because Chai knows that's Atzmo. It's only to the Rabbanon. Masha'enkim, but again, the Kikar, you don't have that heter. So if you look in the Lucia Sort Vaita, he says, on the Mataz, Sif Katan Gimel, the Rotsa Bezei, this is my Teteretz, the Kashalei, Hakamoida Itzos HaMeis Have a Malacha, Chain Tzarech L'Gufa, right? Just like the mace is a Malacha Tzarech L'Gufa, the Kikar also is a Malacha Chain Tzarech L'Gufa. Right, carrying out the Kikar also could be a Malacha Chain Tzarech L'Gufa.
Also, there is Tinok too. I mean, you're not.
Yeah, in fact, Tinok also, yeah. You have to come out the Chai Nefesh Atzmo.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So then there shouldn't be a difference between a Tinok and a Kikar.
Correct. So that's where Taz has come out. If you look at the Taz, he's bothered by the Chiluk.
That's his problem.
And he has a different Taz. Look at the Taz, Sif Katan Gimel. Avalei the kicker a tam betush and a tafel amates. The near Pirish Babazeh, he doesn't like the Magen Avram's Pirish to the Torah. The Dafka Tinik Shum Min Adam K'moy HaMeis. It's a whole new svara. A Tinik, which is the same type as a person, Min B'mina, yeah. V'zeh Yishlem Hashem Tfeilim L'Hadodi. Akein B'taltel Zeh Agav Zeh. Mas Enke Mekikar She'en Lei Shum Shaychus HaMeis Ein Shayach Lem Zeh Agav Zeh. Santa Taz. Very interesting the Taz. Now he says the Tinik is because...
What's the...
I'm not sure. It says Min B'mina. I don't know. Same type. Therefore, could say it's Batal Zeh. But She'en K'nei Kikar, which is a whole different meaning, they can't say it's Batal Zeh.
But then that should be in any time.
What do you mean?
In any time you're going to have, if you're going to have, this only applies if you're going to take it out to a Rosh Hashanah, right? Where we're saying that it's kicker only, it's tinnik only. What about if you're going to use a svar of min v'minai, then you should say that you should only use a tinnik, even if you're just taking it out to a carmelis.
Yeah, it's a good question. Why is the it's a good question on the Taz. Let the Magen Avraham, it's not shver.
No, only to the Taz.
Let the Magen Avraham, it's not shver because
the Magen Avraham doesn't make a distinction. It's only that. It's more shver than Magen Avraham also. If you're saying to carry it out, a tinnik is better than a kicker, so why don't you carry it to a carmelis?
Yeah, we say kicker with tinnik.
Why do we say rather do a tinnik than a kicker for the same reason?
Well, that's on the mechaber. It's on
the That's a good question. That's a good question. Why when you carry it to a carmelis, according to the sheet that says you need kicker or tinnik, why do we say rather do a tinnik than a kicker?
In other words, we should always do tinnik.
Yeah, we can't get the carmelis. If it's in the same rishos, moving it doesn't make a difference. But we can't get out the carmelis, and we said you have to have kicker or tinnik.
Should be a tinnik.
So that's going to be a tinnik. It's a good question. That's a good question. I have an answer. I don't have an answer. It's a very good question. Why, if you carry it to a carmelis, I can tell you a daichik that by a D'Rabbanan we don't care. But carmelis is only D'Rabbanan. Truth is, here's also D'Rabbanan. What's with Tichel Guf is also D'Rabbanan. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to check into it. Why, if you hold that our carmelis, you also do a tinnik and kicker, why don't you say it's better a tinnik than a kicker?
But isn't he saying here that you need a tinnik gadol? You just can't use any.
Yes, say something about carmelis. Say something about carmelis.
No, but he's maker, because he's saying, with the comments on maker, I can use it in the tinnik, I can use any edge tinnik.
But why? Why is that? Why don't we say you should use?
One thing. First of all, we were bothered by when it says tinnik here, and the Magen Avraham said that this is dafka gadol.
Right.
Just aside. Does this go back to all the tinniks that we've seen?
No, fair not. Fair not. Only here.
Only this one. This is not. But the third, you can ask on that also.
Yeah.
Why don't you ask? Why shouldn't all the tinniks be say Sabbath?
Number one should always be a tinnik, and number two should always be an older.
Right.
So we did, and we asked why is it? So we learned and said that it's only here. Maybe now it's
no, it's only here.
So it's only here that should be in.
Yeah.
Then what? Like it's the same kasha.
The chiluk is that over there, if it's a tinnik which is younger, maybe they're right. Can't get to Shusarabah. By Carmel, it's only a D'Rabbanan.
Right.
That's the chiluk. The question is, so what? It's only to do a bottom. So what?
But I want to ask a better way. I mean, a tinnik who's not noisy chayes is happening. What's the?
It's like a regular.
They can muktzah. Is nice to Sabbath? It's not nice to Sabbath.
Not nice.
It's make a difference. When the game tiltal, let's make a difference. When the game tiltal, looks like you're moving the tinnik, let's make a difference if it's nice to Sabbath or not.
Right. So only.
That's when the game tiltal. Only when the game sorry is the difference. The chiluk is going to be there. One's the right and one's the rabbanon. Over here, you have to be careful because if now you're over into the raisa. Before you're only over into the rabbanon, but so what? Even if you're only being over into the rabbanon, still you should try to do it in a more hectic way. I'll have to check into it. A good kasha. Okay, it says the Mechaber weiter, wo din abu bezoyen acher, it's a different bezoyen, in going to hoye besvina, hoye acher besafsim sham, v'chen kol kiyetze bezeh, it's mutter to move it, and it's already, it's Morgan Avram, that he says, who bezoyen gadol, he's coming to answer the way he learns that the Mechaber was never chayzer, his own mouthful of tzarech ha'chaim, not of tzarech ha'meis, we have to say over here was a bezoyen gadol. Hagar, who did the mutarm lemel la'akom l'taltaloi, kamay the kicker b'tinuk. Did I tell a goy to move it? Just like a matter I the kicker b'tinuk. What does that mean? Says the Morgan Avram, lemel la'akom l'shvus to less by ma'isuhu. That's the kolshikin. Right? If you're moving it to a karmelis, it's you're doing a ma'aseh d'Rabbanan. If a goy is doing it, so it's the Rabbanon, which is aimed by Ma'aseh, because you're not doing it. You may be telling a guy to do it for you, but that's called Shavuot she'aimed by Ma'aseh. U'masha hiksha Rabbi Baruch LichtensteinIn loyma la'akom likva meis b'Shabbos. So if that's the case, you tell a guy to be kover the meis on Shabbos. Then we're going to bury the meis on Shabbos. For half was there Rambam Seif Adam, the shani kam was hafal yedim she'ein b'chal malacha. Everyone knows that the kam was not malacha, but chal olav Shabbos afulei de'akum. Also, there's a new problem here of Kvoid HaMeis. Shalayemru Neschalel Olav Shabbos. You go ahead and you move the mace and you bury him on Shabbos. People are going to say that the Mechal of Shabbos for the mace and it's a Bezoyin HaMeis. Because people are going to say, let it bury. He was buried on Shabbos by a guy, it's a Bezoyin HaMeis. After you have to have a Shvus to Shvus. Even though it's only a Shvus to Shvus. Still, after Kfura, we don't let anything be done on Shabbos. There's no Kvoid HaMeis in a case where it's going to be reversing what happened. So if you're just moving him...
That is if
you're just moving him, it's not mispasim. Not every time you move a mace is a mispasim. When you bury a mace, then it's mispasim. Everyone's going to know this guy was buried on Shabbos. Therefore, Afilos al Devreim and Oivach and Lashanim Chen Kotzot Tezer Babakamat Apeches Ubegitten V'ayin Tzev Simish and Chafei and Kem Mashim Shosirabim also Afilai De'akum. The Shosirabim is also Afilai De'akum to move it. Afilim Adam V'lacha She'en Tzech L'guf Apotim V'kamokam Ichud De'raisa V'ashkos V'atur B'Shem Rabbeinu Tam. So we're not going to let you move like they go anytime it's become Mispasim Adover. Even to Shus Rabbim, we're talking about the ones that hold that the Shus Rabbim is also. Those are the ones that hold that even a Yisrael can move it to Shus Rabbim, the guy is not going to be any different. The ones that hold that by Yisrael it's also the Shus Rabbim, then even a guy is going to be also because it's a Sparsim that the over and a guy was over and Isra Dairaisa for a Yisrael. Yeah. So there's I think a problem with this a cover that was dug before Shabbos. There's a problem with a kever that's dug. You're supposed to bury the mace the same day. That's supposed to leave the kever open overnight. That's I think it's the word of Midachos, I think it is. So if you open the kever before Shabbos, obviously it was dug before Shabbos. If it was dug on Shabbos, then the very day of Malacha D'Oraisa. So you can't use it. So here we're talking about oilam. So here if the guy digs it on Shabbos, it's a problem. Otherwise the guy dug it before Shabbos. So you see from over here, even though it was dug before Shabbos, the only issue here is that they're going to say that he was buried on Shabbos. It's not for that, it's mutter to bury him in a kever that was left overnight.
What's the issue again with the kever overnight?
He's supposed to be the chassid. So you see, Allah, it's not a problem. Why said the item is not to machmer on that, not to leave a kever overnight. It's to dig it the same day they bury the person. Let's finish up the Seif.
So, a lot of times you have a kavura Sunday morning. Is the assumption always that they're digging, they're making all the
They should. They should.
No, the kavura was Shabbos also. So
there's no pashash. It's Shabbos. You do it.
Digging is on the spot.
Yeah, they should do it right away. The Sabbath comes up more by the more modern people who they bury 2-3 days later. Also, a machmer to bury right away. Some of them shouldn't leave a mace lying around. So a machmer to bury right away. So usually you don't have this.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking of a scenario. A lot of times you have
a mace Friday. And
early Sunday morning, the question is when the kever was done.
Right, so usually if the person was lifted on Shabbos, then you couldn't have made the arrangements till Sunday morning, or till Motzei Shabbos.
Right.
So it must have been done right away. Because if someone dies on Friday, and then you tell them, so then they could do it on Shabbos.
Right.
They do it on Shabbos, that's a problem.
Right.
Usually these problems don't come up. So let's finish the Seif here. But also taltal mace, ayidei kikar v'tinuk v'tzorch kehanim v'davar. You're not allowed to be taltal a mace, even through kikar v'tinuk, which it's not k'void ha'chayim, and it's not k'void ha'mace. I'm doing it with tzorch kehanim. They want to use the room.
Stam.
Aber the akam yesh matirim v'chem isin v'ayigam v'tzorch mitzvah chasana that do like the akam. But a Yisrael to move a mace for tzorch kehanim, even though it's kikar v'tinuk, we're not matir.
So we're saying there's a difference between Kavod HaChaim and Tzorech?
Yeah, big difference. Yeah, Kavod HaChaim, we said before, that
it bothers people.
Yeah, the big difference. The whole hatter before was because God required that Bria said, I said Ibrahim.
Right.
But here, Tzorech, no, Tzorech is a whole different thing, yeah. Tzorech is a whole different thing. Said the Morgan Avram, but also Taltal, the Emes, so a real pasuk the mutal talta the kikar tinik the tzorch hachayim, even though it's only a tzorch mechina minik akam l'shoinai. Now it's about Goyes Mordechai outside the kikar tinik to move it to tzorch hachayim. And nearly they told them that tzad sorry the tzorch hachanim. This is only kikar tinik, which is not mated. But told them that tzad will make it the tzorch hachanim. Come as a concept of Rav Magid the tzorch mekoyim v'yishari. You're allowed to do tiltum and atzad, it's tzorech mekayim. And here it's tzorech mekayim.
But kikar and tinik is tiltum and atzad.
No, it's not. It's half of the mace, direct. Kikar and tinik, you bring half of the mace directly.
This whole Seif isn't it all the idea of tiltum and atzad?
No. It looks like you've been talked for the kikar and tinik. You've been talked the mace, the head.
So you're saying titul when you roll it over, you roll it from, that's more like a titul minasad.
Yeah, titul minasad is
so the hapocha minita l'mita.
It's titul minasad. It's titul minasad.
You're not calling kikar v'tinuk.
No, kikar v'tinuk is not titul minasad. Kikar v'tinuk is a different heter. It looks like I'm moving it for the tzorech kikar v'tinuk. It's not titul minasad.
Carrying the muktzah item on a chair or a table.
That's what the outside. Because you carry the table.
Isn't that what kikar v'tinuk is doing?
No, it's the opposite. Here's just the opposite. Here the kikar v'tinuk is on top of the mace.
Right, because it's a mace, but I thought it's the same.
No, it's just the opposite. Here's the opposite of what we're talking about outside. You're carrying the mace with the kikar v'tinuk on it. So you carry the mace directly. That's why it's not a real heter. But Sheikh, the ultimate outside is you're not being on top of the mace. Metal team that's holding the mace. And nearly says the Morgan Avram, the Tiltum and Atzad Shari the Tzorech Kehanim, because the concept of Magal Tzorech and Kehanim Shari, Kamokim Ena Kehanim, the Chaylam Lochov the Kreveim. Here's a new Shaila. Forget about the Isha Shabbos, even during the week. Could the Kehanim tell the Krovim that they have to move the mace? A Kohen wants to go to shul. There's a mace in the shul, or in the house next to the shul, whatever it is. Could the Kohen force the people, the Krovim of the mace, to move the mace? So it says, have a mitzvah. You cannot force somebody to move the mace. By nafel they could force him. By nafel there's no real cover on mace, so by nafel you're allowed to force them to move it. Here we're talking about the Krovim are makbid to move it. Therefore you're allowed to move it on day tiltum and atzad. Mali va'isachal, but Kehanim roitzim sheyu v'vatayim. V'chenev marilsham, v'chol mutaloi tzioi, sheyikonter kana v'beisam, and the chol you're allowed to move it. Im eina krovim akpidim, or v'mokum shem minig losses miyad v'mokum shem v'tayim oisoi. If the minig ha'mokum is you don't leave a mace in the house, they move it right away. So then the krovim have no right to say they don't want to move it. Yecholin lachov you're allowed to force the relatives to move the mace. V'mokum ne'rli. So this is also a shah, not Benegay Shabbos, it's Benegay weekdays also. If you have a kohen chayla who's sick, and he can't leave his house, and now there's a mace in the same house, then there should be evidence of the raisa. So this is the raisa for Kehanim to be in the same house as the mace.
I mean, once a Kohen is in the same house as the mace, let's say if there's a Kohen in a house, or in a shul for that matter, and somebody dies,
you have to leave right away. That'll be master the tumah on them. That'll continue staying in the correct.
Over another
correct. Yeah, you have to leave right away. No. Because anyway, all Kehanim today are Tomei mace. All Kehanim today are Tomei mace anyway.
Right, yeah.
Right? Everyone's Tomei mace today.
Yeah.
So, you're not allowed to be in a place where it's Tomei. You're not allowed to continue staying in a place where it's Tomei. Even though you're ready to Tomei.
It means the oil.
Oil, yeah.
Even though we have the idea of being Easter, Halloween,
doesn't make a difference. Doesn't make a difference. The Kohen is not allowed to be in the place of a mace. Even though he's ready to Tomei, he has to leave right away. So, this Morgan Avraham is saying, V'negei Shabbos tiltum v'natzad v'mekel. V'negei dinim of moving the mace. Then he has a whole riches over here. He says that you're not allowed to force Krovim to move the mace, unless it's a mokum where they move the mace right away, or if it's a nafel, then they could force them to move the mace out. Fine. Next week we'll do